Welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable. I'm Sarah Vantine here with Ted Ings. Today we have the Dynatron Software panel, and Ted, some very interesting and urgent announcements to make today.
Yes, we're very humbled, Sarah, to welcome Leigh Silver, the CEO. Dynatron Software is with us today, and our great friend, Maureen Martin, VP of Strategic Alliances at Dynatron. Maureen and Leigh, welcome to the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Great to be here.
Thank you so much.
I understand today is a special moment for all of us here today to reflect a little bit about Les Silver, okay, and the amazing legacy he continues to leave on this industry. Les Silver was one of the early proponents, in fact, one of the very earliest of the Fixed Ops Roundtable, Maureen, as you know, and Les has left his imprint throughout this industry. And I've always said he's got the golden touch, and I've been corrected on that several times, Leigh, but Les is announcing his retirement, okay, from Dynatron. So he has left the company in great hands. And Leigh, I want to come to you a little bit today, if it's okay about that. Talk to us a little bit about the legacy that your father has left for not only Dynatron, but the rest of the industry.
Well, it's first again, thank you for allowing me to be here to speak about this. You know, my father loves the auto industry. He was in the technology space prior to coming to the auto industry in 1982. And I think even today, I probably had about 6 or 7 folks come up to me and ask, "Oh, is my father here? I'd love to speak to him." He was a great pioneer. He was a great innovator. He thought in a way that I think a lot of folks were very excited to hear what he had to say, because he would come up with new and interesting ideas. And so there's a sense of the legacy that is, he was a person who was innovative and brought a number of products and solutions that didn't exist before. But he was also just a very nice person. And over the years, I've been in the auto industry now 20 years. Going back to my first year, I had people come up to me and say that they worked with him, they worked for him. And if there was an opportunity to work with him again, they would want to do so.
Yes.
And I've had that happen over the years. And I think that's probably the lasting legacy, is that so many people over the years, probably in the hundreds, have come up to me in one capacity or another and just said they enjoyed working with my father. And that's amazing.
And Leigh, he's also a student of the industry, never stopping to learn. It amazed me that, 5 or 6 years ago, when our industry went through initially a very tough period, okay, of uncertainty,
Yep.
how Les was on the forefront, wanting to learn about new things and new technologies
Yep.
and new emerging things that we didn't have at the time that we do today.
Yeah.
And that much of that has evolved into Dynatron today.
That is correct. I think the thought process that he had, we've taken that on as our legacy, which is looking for opportunities to improve the industry, looking for ways to take technology, apply it to process, apply it to make people's lives better and produce positive returns for those folks. And I think that's the legacy he leaves, that hopefully we'll be able to take at Dynatron and continue on.
Well, and as you know, he is one of my biggest mentors in my career. And he's always been elevating the whole conversation about fixed operations and how critical it is to profitability in a dealership. And so we're just super privileged to be able to continue on.
Yep.
Leigh, Dynatron continues to be one of the most exciting growth stories in the industry. Could you update us on who you're serving and where you're serving leaders today?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exciting because now we're up to, I think, 4,000 dealership clients.
4,000.
4,000, yeah. When we started with Dynatron, I think we were in the few hundred range.
Yes,
So to see the growth over the years up to that level, and there's just a lot more growth to be had in the future. I think both with what we're doing today, what we want to do in the future, there's so much opportunity because times have gotten tough again. You know, the benefit of what was going on with COVID for the dealers was tremendous. I don't think folks realized it quite so much at the time. But again, as I've talked to dealers, they knew it wouldn't continue on quite like that. And so now, as things have gotten a little more back to normal on the front end side of things, it's gotten tougher. And so there's a bit of a margin erosion crisis. And there are factors that are happening out there that are not possible to be controlled by the dealer, the market, tariffs, all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, fixed operations is there. Customers are coming in. They need help. They need service work. And there's lots of opportunities to help become more efficient, help folks optimize, whether it be their pricing, their workflow, so that they can still run extremely well-run, profitable businesses.
All right. On that note, this question is for both of you, Maureen and Leigh. You have your finger on the pulse of the industry at Dynatron. Not only are you an amazing success story and continuing to grow, but you're also seeing trends and things that are happening as dealers look for these efficiencies. What are some of the things that you want to maybe share with us in terms of market and business challenges, and what's keeping dealers up at night?
So yeah, as I mentioned, I think folks are seeing the reality today.
Yeah.
There's a number of these uncontrollable factors that are challenging, and that in some cases, again, more particular to some OEMs than others. But they're concerned it's going back to no real margin in the vehicle.
Right.
And what does that mean? Where are they going to make that up? And again, it presents an opportunity, but it's also a challenge. And if you're in a scenario like a Porsche dealership, you feel the love, you never stop feeling the love. If you're in a more challenging situation, I know a lot of our Stellantis customers, Nissan customers are finding it a little more challenging.
Yeah.
And so even those dealerships are able to find opportunities in their fixed operations, even dealing with some of those scenarios. And I think what keeps them up at night is, do I know where all my opportunities are? And do I know what could actually be improved upon? And how can I go about capturing it? Because a lot of the dealers aren't fixed ops centric like they are on the new car side.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so that keeps them up at night.
Well, talking about margin erosion and, challenging the status quo, and, dealers don't lack are short on data, but they are short on clarity. So how do we help them to sort of see through the data fog? So many things impact it. When you look at, like, one of our biggest issues in the industry is the inconsistent use of op codes. How do we look at technicians' capacity that's changing? How do we look at all of the parts numbers, all the repair orders? How do we get comparative data? It's really about bringing the clarity and getting that data so that it's actionable. One of the Northwood students called me the data lady, and Leigh goes, I love that. And it was really around the fact of, how do you take data? It's power, but you have to make it actionable. So when making it actionable, that's how the dealers really move the levers for that profitability. And we're really going to be talking about it. We're hosting 3 panels to really elevate it. And we're going to be having 10 of the, icons in the industry. They're going to be in our booth on Wednesday and Thursday at 1:45. And then we're going to be on the NADA live stage. And I'm so excited because the Fixed Ops Roundtable has really set the precedent of leveling up and talking about fixed operations and how it's really impacting it. And we're just delighted to be a part of it. And then also, in addition, NCM and NADA will be with us. So, we're really talking about the impact of fixed ops profitability.
I was going to ask you how dealers can continue the conversation, but you're already got a head start on us, Maureen.
Love it.
As always.
I love it.
How for those in the industry, especially now, early 2026, who want to reach out for more information and learn more about Dynatron and what you can do for them, what is the best way for them to take that next step?
I would say definitely come by the booth. We're at 6851 in the North Hall. You can't miss us when you walk in. And really, we have a lot of our dealers that are actually, we left and we had a lot of our partners that were in the booth, and they want to talk to other dealers, because in my 40 years, as of yesterday, in the automotive industry, 98% of GMs and dealers just never came up the fixed operations side. We want to be their partners. So when they come to our booth and want to talk to other dealers, it's just so impactful, and we're really going to change the industry together.
Well, Leigh and Maureen, congratulations to you and the Dynatron team on all your
Thank you so much.
accomplishments.
We appreciate it.
And Les has left a great legacy, and it's in great hands. So we could see that. And we could see that within your people as well. So thank you on behalf of the Fixed Ops community for being with us there today.
Thank you.
Everybody-
Thank you, Sarah.
Leigh Silver and Maureen Martin from Dynatron Software here with Sarah and I at the Fixed Ops Roundtable. Sarah and I are going to be right back.